Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you so much for the work that you do on behalf of the American people. I really do mean that. There's a couple of things that I want to go over with you because we continue to beat down telework in this committee, and I don't feel as if we've really offered very many solutions. So one of the things that people continually complain about when it comes to DC is that we're broken. And guess what? I would have to agree. And so therefore, because we can't get ourselves together, it is hard to support your work, which means that it's hard for us to support the American people. I think that it was Mr. McNeely that brought it up earlier about the budget. You didn't say that exactly, but that's where you were going with it. And that's what I picked up. So I want to talk about something that is on topic, but a little off topic. How many of you are familiar with a program as it relates to military spouses and working remotely? Can everyone raise your hand if you're aware? All right, perfect. Right now, the majority of the conversations that are taking place in our country have to do with a war or a couple of wars, but definitely what's dominated most recently is the war in the Middle East. And we know that American troops, while they may not be on the front lines of this war, American troops are participating in various ways in support capacities. And what's troubling to me from a national security standpoint, especially since we not only have the war that is brewing in Ukraine, and we need to support Ukraine because if Putin is able to go into Ukraine and take it over, then he may move on to Poland. And if Poland becomes the subject of his ire, then we know that American troops will then be moving in. But when we look at recruitment in this country, we have 3 agencies that are down and not meeting their recruitment numbers. And one of the reasons that they're not meeting those numbers is because military spouses are struggling right now when it comes to remote work. In fact, when it comes to SSA specifically, I have a letter that I would like to introduce into the record, and my team is going to be mad at me because I'm doing all of this.
Without objection.
Thank you so much. This letter is actually from a military spouse that works for, or did work for Social Security, but was unable to do so overseas. Is that the current policy?
Thank you for the question. We currently do not have a implemented domestic employees telework overseas or DEDO policy. However, I would like to assure you we are currently in consultation with the Department of State and other like-minded agencies such as the Veteran Affairs, and we are developing our policy right now. In fact, it's in the stages of being finally staffed and will be reviewed here in the next few weeks.
Well, I absolutely applaud that and appreciate that because one thing we've not talked about is the beauty of telework and how we can actually help when it comes to national security, when it comes to spouses. And Representative Bacon and I introduced the READINESS Act to achieve just this goal. We did that last week, and it was co-sponsored by 6 Republicans and 6 Democrats. So the definition of bipartisan, which is very hard to find nowadays. And the READINESS Act will improve federal employment retention and also help increase military retention and recruitment in the armed forces and foreign services. The bill has been referred to this committee, and I hope to work with the chairman to turn these hearings into action by holding a markup on this measure. Given the shortcomings we are currently seeing, I would like to ask all the witnesses to respond to the following. Is your agency in compliance with the military spouse hiring reporting requirements laid out under 5 U.S.C. Section 3330D? And as a follow-up, does your agency track military spouse retention? And if so, are you willing to provide that information to the Oversight Committee? We got 33 seconds, so if y'all just want to give me a yes or no, that'd be great.
Yes on your first question, and then I'd have to get back to you on the tracking of the retention.
Thank you.
Yes, and we'll be happy to get back to you with exact numbers.
Thank you.
I believe so, and we'll be happy to get back to you with the exact numbers. And we also have a career fair for military spouses early next year. We would love to have
I love this plug.
bipartisan participation to kick that off.
Awesome.
To the best of my knowledge, yes, and I'll have to respond to you on the retention numbers.
Again, I just want to say thank you so much for the work that you do on the behalf of American people. Right now, it feels as if we are starving you and we are wanting you to punch above your weight class. But I am going to do everything that I can to make sure that you have the resources that you need and that we continue to support your work. Thank you so much. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.